Fellas, AC here, welcome to another review. Now today I'm talking about a fragrance that doesn't get a lot of talk. And this fragrance is from the house of Guerlain, which is one of my favorite houses. And this is from the line which is known as the Art and the Material line. Lat and Matière line. My French is as good as my Spanish. Here you go. This is the vintage sort of formulation, vintage packaging. Tonka Imperiale by Guerlain. Now this is been sort of repackaged into a bottle which I'll show a picture of, and this fragrance basically, I do not know the new fragrance whether it's just a repackaging or whether it's a reformulation. I do not know, but this fragrance here is a superb gourmand. And you know, Guerlain has always used one or two sort of gourmand notes. Most primarily is the vanilla, right from the days of Shalimar. And the famed or the fabled Guerlainade or Guerlainade, I don't know how to pronounce that, has a very healthy dose of vanilla. So when I came across this, which is a gourmand, which is a little bit sweet, but it's not sickly sweet, I was quite surprised. And this fragrance taught me all about the note of Tonka and how Guerlain plays around with vanilla, different kinds of vanilla. This is the fragrance which taught me a long time ago. This is an old bottle. This is probably a 2012 bottle, which I got partial of. And this fragrance, in my view, is my essential learning into an Oriental gourmand. So let's start. This fragrance came out in 2010 and the parfumer is Thierry Vasser, the maestro. And Thierry Vasser here has basically done something which is not a strict gourmand. It's basically a tobacco fragrance as well, and it also has elements of a fougere. And it's a fabulous fragrance. So I've already put a couple of sprays here, about 5 minutes, because it's a very rich fragrance, and you all know the story about my gob reflex. I get overwhelmed when I spray a fragrance. I've got very sensitive senses. So 2 or 3 sprays is enough to kill me. So what I did was I put 3 or 4 sprays from this atomizer. I'll show you. Is not the most, that's the kind of spray you get, but it's not like a normal atomizer. It's very tiny amount of spray. It just diffuses it beautifully, and it looks nice as well. A little bit of a vintage touch. So for me, when you first spray it, it's everything all at one go. So it's very, very rich vanilla and tonka with lots of booze, extremely thick rum. And why rum? Because rum is used in scented tobacco, pipe tobacco. Is that kind of dampness. Rum, thick tobacco smell, vanilla, tonka, and the most amazing note, rosemary. And if you're a gardener, if you've grown rosemary, you'll see when you pick rosemary, it's all over your fingers, and you smell your fingers. It smells absolutely amazing. It's not dried rosemary, it's green rosemary with rum, with tobacco, with vanilla, and tonka bean, which is the star of the show here. And Tonka Imperiale. So, a little bit later, in about 5 minutes time, you can see that this is more of a Tonka dominated opening. Green rosemary, bergamot, sparkly, fizzy bergamot, and orange. And a hint of pine. So orange bergamot make it citrus aromatic elements or fresh elements with rum, boozy rum, thick rum, rich rum. Rosemary, which is that fougere element, the green herbal element, and little hint of tobacco, vanilla, and Guerlainade. It's a thick, rich fragrance, great experience. In about half an hour, the fragrance starts this beautiful dance. This fragrance changes all the time. It's dancing around with your senses. It brings in a note of pine. Pine is evident now, and that pine mixed with the tobacco and vanilla and Guerlainade, it just transforms into something absolutely amazing. Very hard to explain. I'd still stick with the Oriental Fougere, Oriental Gourmand line with the green Fougere sort of element through pine, the freshness of rosemary, that sort of thing. It's a mixture of Fougere and Oriental Gourmand. Towards the dry down, this fragrance brings in more of the tobacco and vanilla. Ultimately, vanilla takes over and it becomes a proper Oriental Gourmand. There's rich vanilla, outstanding vanilla, but that tobacco has its play for about, let's say, 1.5 hours, where it becomes a tobacco scent, supported by vanilla, supported by pine, rosemary, and orange, and tonka. So it's more of a tonka and tobacco scent with supporting notes of vanilla. Then tobacco fades, the booze fades, and then comes out vanilla. Delicious gourmand, absolutely amazing. With tonka, it's a superb journey. So that's how the scent develops and ends. So upsides and downsides. The creative brilliance, the mastery of this fragrance, it's its most amazing achievement. This fragrance gets very little talk. When I joined the FragCom back in 2008, 2009, this fragrance used to be mentioned quite a lot. But nowadays, nobody talks about Tonka Imperiale. It's almost forgotten. It's a forgotten great. But when you smell this fragrance, that is when you realize how great this fragrance is, how beautifully constructed, how complex this fragrance is, how classical this fragrance is. It's just amazing. It's like watching a movie that you had never heard of. And then you watch the movie and you think to yourself, wow, what a movie, It's that experience. It's just one of those things. People talk about Tonka Imperiale once in a blue moon, and then suddenly you smell it and you think, wow, And that's the first upside. The second upside is the sensuality of this fragrance. This fragrance is very rich and very sensual, and it smells extremely expensive. And that sensuality has been captured all through the development. So first it's the rum, then comes the tonka, then comes the vanilla, then comes the beautiful leathery sort of nuttiness of tonka mixed with pine and resinous quality. It is a very, very sensual fragrance, and Guerlain as well. It's like Shalimar done in a different sort of a way, almost. There is a lot of Shalimar here, and Shalimar, as you know, is very sensual. This is also that tobacco and the tonka. This also means this is basically the father of the L'Homme Ideal line, which is what uses I forgot to mention, the opening also has bitter almond. So this is probably where Ideal was born, the bitter almond, the tobacco, the vanilla. This is something. This is absolutely something for people who like fragrances that develop, they're complex, that rich scents. So the sensuality of the fragrance really impressed me. And the third one has to be the development, the complexity. Nowadays, when you pay a lot of money for a fragrance, I'll come to the money bit, but when you pay something, this is a 75 ml bottle, and I think it's 100, it used to be 150. So it was £2 an ml. When you pay £2 an ml, you want a little bit of complexity, artistry, mastery. All of that is here. The notes are very unusual, and they create this fragrance which changes quite a lot. And that is very, very gratifying. It's really very nice. Downsides. This fragrance is very rich, and that's why it's quite difficult to figure out when to wear this. And also, second downside, it doesn't project as much, but if you apply too much, it will really nauseate you. They're thick, rich notes. All the notes I mentioned, apart from a subtle few like almond and bergamot and orange, all the notes are very rich notes. So if you apply like 5 sprays or 6 sprays, it starts to nauseate you, at least to me. So it doesn't project, but it's very rich, and it is really one of those fragrances that you want to wear to a special occasion. So it might create a little bit of a conflict for you, because of projection, lack of projection or limited projection will sort of overwhelm your beautiful scent from others who are projecting a lot. So that could be a downside for some people. And the other thing is the lack of wearability. It's really very rich and glamorous fragrance. It's an A-lister's fragrance. Where do you wear it? And those are the two downsides. Now let's talk about value for money. So, as I said, £2 an ml, maybe £3 an ml now with the new packaging. So, value for money, medium to low. Yeah, because as I said, wearability is the problem. Where do you wear this? You could wear this to work if you keep the sprays low. But we'll come to the occasions a little later. But value for money is medium to low, I would say. Yeah. Occasions to wear this in seasons and all that stuff. So season, definitely autumn and winter, because of the richness of the notes and how it develops, and that is the time when it performs the best, you know, and smells the best. Autumn followed by winter. Occasions to wear this. This is up to you. Those notes are rich notes. If you want to wear this to work, you can. It smells very, very classy and very expensive. Slightly sweet if you overspray. I only wear 1 or 2 sprays. I showed you, it's very little from this atomizer, very little mist comes out. So I can easily wear 3 or 4 of this to office and not feel conscious. And there's no reason why you couldn't wear this to office. The freshness of pine, the herbs. You can wear this to an evening function. You can wear this to a date where it is a sort of an intimate affair. You can wear this when you are in your own company. It just doesn't have the kind of projection you would want from a scent like this, which smells so amazing. So those are the occasions I can think of. Performance. I get about 14 hours longevity on this fragrance. It's a very high quality, very high, top-notch quality. You know, the scent, the quality of materials is very high. Projection is medium to low. All right. Sillage is absolutely stunning if you're in indoors occasion. If you're going outdoors, I can't guarantee. Projection, longevity is fantastic, and I really like it for that. So, age groups. This has mature vibe. All the notes I mentioned apart from vanilla is not youthful, and tonka. And the tonka is not syrupy sweet like you would get from most of the designer fragrances released between 2015 and 2020. The tonka was the talk of the town, right? So this is not that kind of tonka. This is tonka, how it smells in baking products. Literally, it's a baker's experiences of a bakery, you know. Then there's tobacco, then there's rum. So richness of these notes and the notes, now the fragrance, how it's been created, it has a little maturity about it. So I would say 30 plus. Yeah. Nighttime would be as good as daytime. The fragrance quality is amazing. So 30 plus, nighttime or daytime, autumn, winter, compliment factor, huge. This fragrance has been designed, created absolutely masterfully. It's a massive compliment garner if people smell it on you. So where you are close to people, like first date, regular date, or where you want to impress a group of friends, a small group of friends, or somebody at work, or an interview, but don't wear it too much. Because as I said, it has the capacity to overwhelm or nauseate you because of the richness of the notes. Apart from that, fantastic compliment magnet, masterfully created, very, very well done fragrance. And I'm not a gourmand lover. It's one of my least favorite fragrance categories, and I'm loving this fragrance. It's a stunner. The warmth, the alluring quality, the sexy quality, the elegance, the classiness. These are the adjectives I would like to associate with this fragrance. This is a really well-made fragrance. So, how many marks will I give it? I haven't tried the new one. I've mentioned the things that might come in the way. Low value for money, low wearability, low projection, and apart from that, absolutely everything going for this fragrance. This fragrance is the creation of an absolute master. And what a fragrance this is, what a concept this is. So, bearing in mind all the negatives, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Bearing in mind I haven't smelled the latest version. That's why I'm keeping it a little reserved. 8 out of 10. I'm hoping you enjoyed the review, fellas. Take care. Bye-bye.